All right, Sherm, the producer from the world-famous Frank Show, Tucson, KFMA. With us, we have the legendary Crispin Glover. He's in the brand new movie Hot Tub Time Machine. Crispin, how are you today?
Great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I've got some winners. We did a big giveaway on the show, and we've got Jeff and Amy here with us today.
Hello. Good to meet you. Hello.
Now, your role in the movie is classic. There's so much suspense with your character. Can you tell us who you play?
Yes, I play Phil, who, when I'm introduced, you see me with one arm, and it's in the present day.
Yeah.
And then the fellows get into a hot tub time machine, and they find themselves in the same hotel 20-some years earlier, and they meet my character, and I have two arms, and there's some question as to how I'm going to lose this arm.
Well, we got to see the movie last night.
Yeah.
Amazing. And everybody's laughing, and there's so much suspense to find out how you lose your arm. There's so many different scenes. Is this it? Is this it?
Yes.
And then, I won't give it away, but
Yeah.
how you lose it, amazing. It's great.
It worked out well. I'm really glad I'm in the film. It seems like it could do well. It seems like there's a lot of humor, and the characters are likable, and they have good payoffs. So I'm glad I'm in it.
Now, is this something? Do you like doing comedies more than dramas, or is it just kind of whatever works, whatever you're into?
Yeah, I mean, I tour around with my own films. I've been in Tucson and also in Phoenix. I haven't gone out with the second film yet. I'll have to at some point, but. I fund my films with the monies that I make from acting in other people's films. So I'm very grateful to be in these films that I'm acting in. But I already forgot what your question was.
Oh, would you rather do like comedy or drama? That's
right.
fine.
Yeah. So on certain levels, I don't differentiate between what something is. Being comedy or drama. Yeah. Usually I don't differentiate how I play something, whether it's called a comedy or drama. There is an adage that I tend toward believing in being play comedy like tragedy and tragedy like comedy. Mm-hmm. And for the most part in this culture, I think there's an understanding of playing the comedy like tragedy. I don't know that there's necessarily as much of an understanding as playing the tragedy like comedy. I think often the films that are nominated for Academy Awards and people that win Best Actor or Actress often are playing tragedy like tragedy. There are older films, some classic older films that I think they're good examples of people that play tragedy like comedy, which there's a dynamic to that I really like. But in any case, I very much enjoyed working. I have these two films out in the same month. I have Alice in Wonderland and Hot Tub Time Machine. As you say, they're very different kinds of movies, and I'm playing two very different kinds of roles in them. But I'm really glad to be in both of these films.
Of course, yeah,
and I enjoyed working on both of these films in different ways. But I'm really glad I'm in both of them.
Now, there's a scene in the movie Hot Tub Time Machine where you're tossing around a chainsaw.
Right.
Now, have you ever taken any interest up in maybe trying the chainsaw carving or anything like that?
I've used a chainsaw to do some pruning on trees at home. But
no ice sculptures?
No ice sculptures, but they're dangerous things.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even do that, but I have at times.
Maybe something in the future?
Well, I've done it. Like I say, I've pruned with a chainsaw, but those are dangerous things. I would not like to lose my arm.
Oh,
with a
of course.
Yeah.
Jeff or Amy?
Would you prefer to do, like, I guess at Willard, I loved Willard, and I know a lot of people don't really know it, and you were the star in that movie, I think, and do you prefer doing movies like that where you're more the center role, or as opposed to things like this, or even like Back to the Future, where you were a main character but you weren't?
Well, again, I mean, on some level, a lot of my main passions at this point are making my own films that I'm funding and directing and self-distributing. And like in my own films, the second film I made, I'm not in it at all. The first film, I have a supporting character, and I put myself in that film because I was elongating it from a short film and turning it into a feature. So it was kind of, I wrote the part for a structural purpose as opposed to a part that I was writing for myself to be a great acting role. I like myself in the film called What Is It? But it wasn't written for being a great part. I'm writing right now for the first time a role that is something that would be an interesting part to play. And it's not part 3 of the trilogy of films, but it's something that I'm writing for myself and my father to act in together. My father's an actor, and we've never acted together before.
Wow.
But a lot of the films that I'm acting in, I'm very conscientious about funding my own films with these things. So I'm just glad I'm working and I'm acting in the film industry. What my choices are, it's hard to say. I enjoyed being in Willard, and it was a great part. But I've enjoyed being in Alice in Wonderland and Hot Tub Time Machine.
Whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to say what I would specify. I have not had that kind of control in my career where I can say this is exactly what I want to do and be acting in it at this point in time. But the way that I look at it is, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I do enjoy making my own films, and all of these other things that are working in correlation with that have been really good experiences that are helping support this other thing that I'm doing. And I'm, like I say, I'm grateful and glad to be in all of these movies. So.
Well, we look forward to seeing Alice in Wonderland, which is out now, and of course Hot Tub
Yes.
Time Machine in a couple weeks. Crispin
Yeah.
Glover, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.